What's up, you guys? TheGame2k2 here again to complete my review of the first two Max Payne games. So we're going to take a look at Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. After the success of the first Max Payne, Remedy went right to work on the follow-up. The big difference here was that the first game took 4 years to make, while the second took a little under 2. There's always worries when it comes to sequels. Sequels to hit games can either be just as good, worse, or better than their predecessors. Max Payne 2 thankfully ends up in the first category. Sam Lake took the writer's chair again. The story this time around was more of a film noir love story. Without going into too much detail on the story, Max is back on the police force and finds out that Mona Sachs in the first game had survived from being shot. The main focus in this game is on their love story. The story also brought back another character, Vladimir Lem, who ends up being the main villain of the game. The story is well written by Lake, it's some of his best work, and the character development is just phenomenal. I thought it was truly some of the best character development I've seen in video games ever. The game still tells the story mostly through graphic novels, but it also includes a lot more in-game cutscenes as well, which were pretty cool at the time. They don't look as good as the graphic novels, but they're still pretty impressive from a graphical standpoint. The characters were still modeled by actors. However, all of the models have changed, and sadly that included Sam Lake no longer modeling for the character of Max Payne. The voice acting is still as hammy and entertaining as ever, and it's truly fun to listen to. The gameplay wasn't altered too much from the first game. It was still shoot and kill anyone in your path for the most part. The only real difference with the gameplay was that you got to play as a different character, and that was Mona Sachs for 2 levels. There was also a lot more freedom to roam around some of the levels, the police station in particular. You could also roam around Max's apartment if you were there. Things like that were kind of interesting. The bullet time effect saw some additions. While you can still jump forwards, backwards, and sideways in slow motion, you can now also duck and spin. The bullet time also looks incredible graphically. It's truly one of the best effects I've ever seen. Speaking of graphics, Max Payne 2 saw some major improvements. The first Max Payne was definitely a beautiful game, but did have a few flaws. The biggest being its character models, which are pretty blocky. Remedy did a great job fixing this problem, and the character models were much more realistic and more detailed. The environments were just as incredible looking and were very detailed as well. Unfortunately, Max Payne 2 did come with one flaw, and that was its length. The story was actually longer than the first game's story, but unfortunately the gameplay was a little on the short side. If you are not one that wants to watch the story, then the game will probably take you no more than probably 7 to 8 hours to finish. Maybe even a little less than that. However, the beautiful story and the impressive visuals did help cover up this flaw. I've only gotten my hands on the PC and Xbox version of this game, so I have no idea what the PS2 version looks like. I've heard some rumors that it was pretty flat looking compared to these two versions, but I really don't know. But the PC and Xbox versions are pretty much the same, and with some minor graphical differences. Overall, Max Payne 2 can best be described as short but sweet. If you haven't played it, I recommend either downloading it on Xbox Live or finding a used copy of it on PC, because it's definitely worth playing. Well, that's it for the Max Payne series thus far. We can only hope that Max Payne 3 will be just as good. From what I've seen from the screenshots, it looks like it has the potential to be a solid action game, but there's been some mixed reviews from fans. About half the fans of Max Payne are happy to see another sequel. Others are worried because it's no longer Remedy developing the game. It's actually been left to Rockstar to develop the sequel, and I think that was a good choice. Rockstar, I think, will do a good job with Max Payne, and while it does look like a different game, I have faith that the game will be just as good as its predecessors. But we'll see in time. Well, that's all for right now. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next time.